now. Hold on. We are live. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening. This is Antonio Muniz. Great to see you. Great to see you. I'm a business solutions consultant. I help entrepreneurs protect and grow the organizations the right way for the long term. That's what's important. Not just starting. Starting is sexy, but staying, that's impact. So today, I have the privilege and the pleasure of being with a really good friend of mine, Joanna Murillo. She's a brand strategist. She's an amazing professional, and she can tell you more about who she is and what she does. But one of the things, one of the reasons that we're here today, and Joanna, I'd love for you to get your perspective, is that we were talking the other day, and I said, "Wow, I wish that we had a camera around for almost every conversation that we have,
Yep.
because I need to hear that again." That's one reason. The other reason is, wow, somebody else could benefit from the conversation and the results. So that's why I'm here today. That's what Joanna gracefully agreed to be here with me today, so we can have this conversation in public, basically. So
Yes.
Joanna, good to see you. Good to see you. Tell our friends a little bit about you.
Hi, good to see you, my man. It's always my pleasure and a thrill every time I get to connect with you because, like I say in Spanish, no hay desperdicio. There's no waste when we get together and have these amazing conversations. And yes, I remember saying, like, wow, we should have this out there, not just for ourselves as a reminder, like you just mentioned, because I believe and I encounter repeatedly in my several meetings, my one on ones, my conversations, my clients. Oh, I'm suffering with these pain points as well. What do I do? And the beauty of it, of our conversations, is that it also helps us stay accountable into the activities that we develop because I know that you've kicked my butt sometimes. It's like, hey, Joe, remember you said you were going to do this? Have you done it? I was like, oh my God, yes, yes. Thank you, Antonio, for being that person that always pushes me. And I believe it's all the way around as well,
Absolutely.
Yes?
100%, 100%. And I think one of the keys to success, and one of the things that I've learned over the last 18 plus years as a business owner, entrepreneur, etc., is that it's you got to select the people who you hang out with and be intentional about that. The quality of the people around you will determine the quality of your future results. So one of the things that bubbled up during our conversations is how, by the way, just give everybody kind of a framework or background. We work with entrepreneurs all day, every day, both Joanna and myself, sometimes
Correct.
together, most times independently, because we have different tracks that we run on. And one of the things that we notice individually in having those conversations is that some or quite a few business owners and entrepreneurs, regardless of where they are in the growth curve, sometimes commingle or misunderstand the difference, or understand the difference is what you say, right? I'm talking in circles now. Strap yourself in. We are going in
Yes.
circles.
Yes.
Now, the difference, they don't understand the difference between business building and brand building. Now, if you want to talk about business building, I'm the person that I recommend you talk to. If you want to talk about brand building, I am not that person. Joanna is the person when it comes to that, at least in my circles, because I know, like, and trust the work that she does. Now, what is business building? Because sometimes when you mix the two, what happens, you create internal confusion that leads you to do a lot of work. You're burning a lot of energy, and you're still not moving forward. You're not moving your business forward. So, business building, to me, it's simple because it's what I do all the time, right? So did I hit you? Were you ready to say something, Joanna? I
No,
think you
yes,
were.
because it just come to the realization that even though we're in the business of business building, not everybody is in the business of brand building.
Ooh,
But if you're building a brand, you also need to be mindful of building your business. This is like what came first, the chicken or the egg? it's
I have
it's
no idea.
something like that, and we can be talking hours and hours about this, but what we can definitely acknowledge right now, that there's these two amazing people in the room, you and myself, it's that whatever comes for you first, you need to work on both without losing the clarity and not deep diving in the obscurity that usually as you comes building a business and a brand comes with it, by listening or exposing yourself to crowds that are not benefiting, or they don't even know themselves what that is. That's why I totally connect with you when you mentioned that get the proximity with the people that know what they're doing and know that they're doing from experience, academy, and building a brand of themselves. And in your case, building their business, because there's so many gurus out there that promise you they will get a result, but do your research. Where did it come from? Where did this knowledge coming from? Is it just coming from a quick course that you're doing 3 months during the pandemic, and then after that you consider yourself an expert? Here are I, between Antonio and myself, he has 18 years as an entrepreneur, but as a professional, I'm sure it's way more than that. Myself, and I was forced to count it, 25 years doing, breathing, branding, graphic design, creativity services, speaking, also lately into women empowerment, which is a cause that I'm really close to, and I believe it's going to be a topic for our following session. It comes with that behind, and that's why I believe that in my line of business, I've been able to establish a trust with my clients, because they know I'm not coming from just this whatever point of view. I come from a place where there's a solid foundation when it comes to help you building a brand. I don't know if whatever I said resonated with you, Antonio.
It did, because, it's the people the books you read, the people you meet, in your associations. Those are 3 key elements on your journey to success. Now, being a little bit more intentional about our topic, business building versus brand building. For me, business building is basic blocking and tackling, at least in the beginning, and quite frankly, you never end. There are some things that you have to do over and over again. And one is to have clarity about the problem that you solve and the people that you're trying to serve. So that's one thing. The second thing is to create the environment where that can happen. What is the infrastructure for your business? Who are the people on your team? Who are your partners outside of your immediate team that help you fulfill that promise of solving those problems for the people that you're trying to serve? And so if you're starting, what you need to do is get clarity on the problem that you solve and get clarity on who you serve. That's number one. The second thing is you need to skill up, get some skills, develop some skills on an ongoing basis that will help you serve the people that you're trying to serve, the clients that you want to serve. And I'm talking about getting your head right about money. That's number one. Number two, having a clear vision of the future for your business by serving more people, right? When you do what you say you're going to do, this is what the future looks like for you. You got to have real clarity on that. Number three, now that you have clear vision, now you have to communicate that mission into the marketplace. That's marketing, right? That's not brand building. That's marketing. Branding and marketing sometimes get commingled too. They're not the same things either.
Ooh, that's
so I'm sure you have a lot to say about that.
Day struggle. Yes.
Absolutely. So quickly, the last two is selling, right? Monetizing, converting that idea or that marketing message into opportunities, into dollars, because we're here for profit. And the fifth thing is, now that you have proven that what you do actually works, then you scale. I think people try to scale before they have proven that what they actually do works. So anyway, those are the 5 things that you need to do over and over and over and over again. And the very important thing that goes all the way around that is the people you hang out with, your association. So getting around the right people. So what are your thoughts on that, Joanne? I know that's kind of my lane, but I want to get your thoughts on that.
Oh, absolutely. And the beauty of it is that kind of intertwines with what branding is as well. Usually people think, oh yeah, don't worry, I have my branding on point. They don't even know what the brand is or what marketing is. And they usually mix those terms like, oh yeah, I'm going to build you your marketing. What is your marketing? It's like you're talking about an object. First and foremost, business owners, when you hear someone talking about marketing as an object, run for your lives, because that on its own says and it speaks that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So that's a little tip that I want to give there. But circling back to your subject, Antonio, it totally resonates, all of the points that you have explained right now, because it's part of also brand building. Because when you want to build the brand, it's not the logo or the website or the social media. That's pretty much what comes later. But what comes first, it's building that foundation. I believe that all the points that you mentioned, it's the foundation of starting a business. And so is when it comes to brand. You need to realize what's the value, what's the problem that you're solving in such a unique way that it cannot be solved the same way by XYZ. That's the beauty of your brand. What is that problem that you're solving? What's the storytelling behind it? Because there had to be a story behind it. It's not like, God gave you that superpower out of the blue. No, it had to come with your gifts, your skills, your talents, the unique way that you were able to find that solution. And first and foremost, not, that I want to leave that behind, but it's one of the main things. Who are you going to provide that solution to? Okay, because not everybody is for everyone. Not every solution is for everybody. The way that you're going to give that contribution to the world is specific and unique to your, let me use the word that everybody understands, which is the niche. Okay. So that's when I see the similarities, but I guess that the way that you're going to execute those differentiate from what it is to build your business and to build your brand. Oftentimes, business owners start with either or, usually more with the business building because you want to see that money coming in, right? Mm-hmm. And then as you keep building that trust with your clients, then you realize, oh, my brand is a mess.
Yeah.
And I think and my brand is not on point yet. So
yeah. And I think that's where people get confused, honestly, when they get to the point of convergence, almost, that you say, oh, I'm thinking about marketing, that I'm building my brand. Well, they're related, they're cousins, but they're not the same thing, right? And we need to treat them with the right intention and working with the right people. Work with the right people. Correct. So you get the right results. I think, one of the reasons that we're having this conversation in public is because we see a lot of bad information in the marketplace. We see a lot of incomplete information. And man, one of the things that I feel bad for people who do this, they go to a marketing expert or service provider too early. I believe that there's a need and demand for marketing services and to let the pros do what the pros do. I believe in, as a business owner, do what you're really, really uniquely positioned to do and do it with excellence and outsource everything else that is not in that value chain. And marketing is one of those things for most people. Now, what I say is, and I'm totally for that. The part that the one takeaway, if we could do this at 13 minutes in, is don't go to a marketing services provider. And I'm talking about digital marketing. I'm talking about social media management. I'm talking about graphic design. I'm talking about someone who's going to write your content, or someone's going to create a blog for you, or whatever. Those are all providers that they have a very unique, there's a need and there's a demand for the services.
Correct.
But sometimes we go there too early, and too early means I don't know what my message is, and a service provider is not going to create that for you. I don't know who I'm trying to serve. I don't know the problem that I solve. I don't have that clarity, and I don't have a clear path as to what my expected and intended outcomes will be, things that I can measure. So as an owner, that's your job. That's not the service provider's job. What happens is that many owners that I run into, entrepreneurs, they think that they can outsource that. And I don't believe that you can. Others can disagree, and that's beautiful. But I don't believe that you can outsource that, because what ends up happening 9 times out of 10 is that when you do that too early, when you engage a service provider, particularly in marketing, too early, that provider is going to provide the services that they provide. And they may not be aligned with your vision and your goals and expectations. And it's not their fault. You did not give them guidance. So you sign an agreement for 90 days, 120 days, and you're out 5, 6, 7 grand. And then at the end of that, you're like, what did I get for this? I'm unhappy. I'm dissatisfied. Well, because there were no clear expectations. To a
Correct. And
hammer, you know,
yeah.
to a
And this
hammer,
is
everything's
this
in there.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a struggle. Oops, sorry, that I get every single day with business owners because they get already that bad rep and that bad experience when it comes to tackling their marketing, branding, and first and foremost, they don't know what they're talking about because they got a such a bad impression because they walked in without the clarity, without the
Mhm.
expectations, without a lot of things that were not in point. First, it's like I always compare it like this. Imagine if you're going to buy a house, correct? And you're going to buy this house without even knowing how to get into investment, without even making your research. Are you going to be able to afford it? What type of house do you want? Do you want like 1 story, 2 stories? Do you want a house that it's all carpet floors, etc.? You don't even have the idea of what it entails to buy a home. You are not just going to throw away $100,000 without even having that clarity. Is that what happens oftentimes with marketing? And when someone comes that can actually provide a good solution for you, you're already burned.
Yeah.
Business owners are already burned and they don't think that they need marketing anymore because they have been developing and doing their work without it. So what's the point of having it or not? And that's a struggle that I oftentimes see. But then again, not for blaming or whatsoever, but the business is yours and you need to do your due diligence
Yeah.
with first learning, opening your mindset about it, not think just because you know how to post on social media, now you're a digital marketer. The service provider is not going to tell you how your brand is. That's your first homework that you need to do. And if you need help with that, you need to build it with a brand strategist. What's a brand strategist? Because I oftentimes get that question asked too. So a brand strategist is that person that is going to help you understand what your brand is all about. It's not about that person is going to give you your logo. That's a graphic designer. That
Mm.
person is going to give you the copyright for your website or develop your website. That's a web developer. Do not expect these people to give you your brand strategy or help you build your brand from the scratch. That's when the brand strategist comes in, that is going to help you create that roadmap with executional tactics and strategies and tactics that is going to help you take that brand to where you want to take it, to able to connect, provide the right messaging that it needs to be in order for you to have the success that you expect. That's not going to come from scheduling a post 3 times a week.
Yeah.
That's the execution of that strategy that you created. Unfortunately, for small business owners, since there's not much clarity on this aspect, oftentimes it gets confused with, oh, I have my marketing. Yeah, but do you have your brand? And that's where the questions get unanswered. So, circling back to the subject of the matter that we are covering today, yes, business building is important, but also brand building the right way with the right foundations, it's pivotal to keep enduring in this market. Remember, when you start a business, in the first 3 years, out of 10, only 5 make it. After 5 years, only 1 makes it. So you better set yourself up for success.
It's a high risk deal. I mean, I think
Yes.
we only hear the kind of the I want to be my own boss. I want to run my own ship. I want to make my own money. I want to have unlimited potential. I want to have time freedom. Those are all great and those are all possible. Well, there's a price to be paid. And
Yes.
all those things are the outcomes of the work that you signed up to do. And what happens is we want the outcomes without doing the work, right? We want the 4-year degree on day one of your college experience, and that it doesn't work that way. So kind of this is, I know this is a conversation. This is why it went the way it went. It's a conversation. It's an honest, transparent conversation. I think it's one of many to come. There, listening to, I haven't, como te digo, this is not the first time that you share your views and expertise with me on brand strategy and brand building versus business building. But I got some new stuff today. Maybe I was ready to hear it today. I wasn't ready to hear it before, or I was distracted before.
Yes.
Which happens, right? And that happens with entrepreneurs. That happens with clients. People are distracted.
Oh yeah, they get squirreled. I get squirreled several times. Trust me, because and especially, and it's like when I hear like even psychologists need psychologists, even brand strategists need brand strategists.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, and that's why sometimes, especially me coming from the academia, not just as a student but also a professor back in the day, I no longer do that because I wanted to refocus and pivot. I totally see that oftentimes you can get a little bit distracted by seeing what other people are doing, but that's when the brand strategy comes in hand to help you. Okay, yes, let me be aware of the surroundings and what's going on in the market, but my foundation always comes back and helps me pull back to the place that I need to keep directing my focus. Yes, you can always bring things here to adapt and to incorporate and to change with this evergreen market that we are experiencing right now, just the way things were done last year. Hey, man, just the things that we did at the start of the year and we were just planning on doing and what we actually executed. Hey, man, I'm so proud of us. I mean, just with that, but we've always kept, regardless of the upgrades or changes we've done, we've always stayed in sync with our business goals and our brand goals and our brand mission and vision, I believe. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
No, I agree. I mean, it hasn't been the first 5 months of the year. They haven't been easy, but the thing is, they're not supposed to be. I never gone into, December 31st, New Year's party and gone, I'm gonna salute because next year it's gonna be so easy. I never heard myself say that, think that, or anyone around me say that. So it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be worth it, and it's supposed to be aligned with your skills and the people you serve, etc. So the reason we're having this first conversation again is to make sure that we highlight a little bit in a general sense the differences between business building and brand building. The premise is not that one is more important than the other or one comes ahead of the other. That's not the premise. That's not a debate that I want to engage in. But the premise is that they're both important and you need to treat them separately most of the time. At some time there'll be convergence, but especially in the beginning, if you're not clear about the purpose of your business, who you're trying to serve, how you solve problems, how you collect money, etc., or you're not clear about who you are, what your personal brand is, what your business brand is. Sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're not, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong there either.
Correct.
But you need to be aware as a business owner that these things are different and they need to be treated the right way with the support of the right people. So I'm hoping that this was of value to all of you today. Here, I'm going to ask our friends who are plugging in I'm going to have a couple of asks. The first ask is, hey, if you like this content, make sure that you follow Joanna and you follow me on social media. Not because we're looking for followers, but because we want to make sure that you're aware the next time we do this, that you know what's going on.
Correct.
Because we're going to tell you. And this will happen again. Different topics, different subjects, maybe even different people. We have somebody else coming in here, a third person. So that's number one. Make sure you follow us on social media. Number two is in the comments below, please let us know if you're watching live or if you're watching replay. And number three, I'm asking a lot, but I can't. The third thing is
your show, man. Well, our show.
A mí me gusta pedir, okay? And by the way, we're going to do something in Spanish too. This is not just going to be in English. So the third thing is, what is the one branding challenge that you currently face? And what is the one business challenge that you currently face? I want to see what your needs are because perhaps we can help. And the way we help is not just selling you stuff, okay? The way we help is point you in the right direction. Maybe I cannot help you. Maybe Joanna is not the right person, but I can guarantee you that we know the right person to help you. And that's value. That's bringing value to you. So again, the three things, make sure you find us and follow us, subscribe, follow us, whatever you want to call it, depending on the channel. Number two, what was the second one? I don't remember the second one, but I'm going to go with, what is the marketing or the branding challenge that you're currently facing? One branding challenge that you're currently facing. And the other one is, what is the business challenge that you are currently facing that would you like some help overcoming? So I think that was it. If
Yes,
that's
guys,
it,
and like Antonio said, I mean, this is not a monologue. This is a dialogue. We want to hear from you guys. If you have any other subjects that you would like us to cover within our expertise, or if there's someone else that you would like us to invite, or any subject, I know that's something that, especially my clients face. One of the main things when building a business slash also building your brand is finance, where to allocate those budgets the right way, which is why I always encourage you, before going ahead and just like running to hire someone and said, oh, I only have $200 for my social media. I would rather 100 times for you to save those 200 of someone halfway running your social media with no clarity, no purpose, no intention whatsoever, and allocating, educating yourself by maybe going to a workshop that is going to teach you what your brand is, or a workshop that is going to help you how to execute actions to build your business. That's something that you don't hear quite often.
yeah,
Usually what you hear,
100%.
oh, you have $200, I'll grab those. Oh, I have a
Yeah,
budget of, I don't know, $1,500 a year, I'll grab that. So that's the part that before you going and hiring, subcontracting, getting vendors, learn, be your
mhm.
own school and try to acquire that knowledge so you can make well-informed and educated decisions the right way. I get that, usually, Antonio. It's just a client saying, oh, Joe, I only need like the business card. And I'm like, hey, I have the perfect person that can give you that business card. Vistaprint.com. Exactly. Oh, I just want someone to run my social media. Use Fiverr, 2 hours. But do you know what you want in your social media? Do you know what type of business card you're going to need in order to attract your right audience, the people that need to connect with your business? And that's where a lot of questions marks pop, because like I say, I see a lot of branders, brand strategists, people that talk about branding, but what they're offering is finished products.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a banner. Yeah,
Mhm.
I can create this beautiful graphic. Not so beautiful, but yeah, but it's that actual graphic, banner, you name it, website, social media aligned, and calling the right people that you need to do business with. Is it connecting you with the right audience? Is it actually landing you in the industry that you're working? So those are questions that need to be asked. And of course, while you do that, grow your business. So I don't think a lot of people is going to tell you that. Don't give me your money. Invest it wisely.
There you go. I think that's a great place to stop. I think there's a lot of things that we can do in the future. I'm gonna challenge Joanna here in front of all of you.
Okay.
I think
I'm used to it now.
she needs to launch her own podcast. And I just from today, I know your first 6 or 7 topics. And it could be how to hire a social media manager, or the 5 things you need to do before you hire a social media manager. And if you have 200, that's one topic. The other one is, if the best use, if you all you have is $200 to invest in marketing, what is the best use of $200? Let me give you 5 things you can
Yeah.
do before you launch it and send it to somebody else. So these are real talk. This is real talk,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
This
This
is
is as
not
real as
sugar
you can get.
coated.
And I'm holding my French a lot here, Antonio, because I don't want us to get, censored.
No, and I think when you're speaking the truth, there's no need for color, right? So,
Yeah.
and I think that's what we are. I think it's all about speaking directly to the people that we serve, bringing them value, and understand that the worst thing you can do is be alone in this journey of
Oh,
entrepreneurship.
yes. Yes. The power of
So,
collaboration. That's another subject for another day, because
there
the
you
moment
go.
I started to do this, creating and building these collaborations, oh my goodness, it just took things to the different level. But even if you're going to collaborate, guys, try to do it with the people that are aligned with your mindset and values. Stop fucking with the chickens, soar with the eagles.
There you go. There you go. Well, listen, there's don't forget the 3 things that I asked for. Please, do that in the comments, and be on the lookout. We're going to be doing this in Spanish as well. I think there's a need for that. I think when we surround ourselves with the right people, with the right professionals, those who can, like Joanna and myself, who can clearly communicate a message in 2 languages, I think it's a disservice to use one.
Así
So
es, y Antonio, let me stop you right there, just pretty briefly, because I don't want our followers to get like overwhelmed. But The last post I had, because of Antonio, he challenged me like, Joe, like you're conscious English only, but you speak Spanish too. So, hey, you're doing a disservice. I was like, oh, but I don't want to do it. He's like, do it, give it a shot. And you know what? Thank you, my man, because it exploded. I got a lot of interactions of people privately messaging me. Oh, thank you so much because I've seen your messaging or the way that you were communicating in English. And sometimes I did not quite follow. But with you putting it in Spanish, I love it because now I get it. So you see, allow yourself some room to
Absolutely.
still stay consistent with your brand, but explore here things in there, but without losing that focus. So thank you, my man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And
I'm glad.
challenge accepted.
There you go. There you go. I'm glad that it's fun to work with people who, you see something because I'm not in the woods. She's in the woods. I'm outside of the forest, right? So I can see things in her forest that she's not able to see because the trees are right in front of her, and vice versa. So to see something that to me is obvious, but to her is not, and just voice it, and then see her execute that day. That's rewarding for me, and that's the people who I want to work with and collaborate with, and the clients that I want to serve. Those who are willing to work, those who are coachable on behavior, not coachable because they say they are coachable. Most people are not coachable, by the way.
That's another subject.
And those who are willing, to, they're hungry. That's what I say. They got to be hungry. They want more than what they currently have. Number two, they're coachable. And number three, they are willing to do the work. So that's another conversation for another day. Joanna, thank you for making time for this conversation. I know we wouldn't have it any other way, but it's public this time.
Yeah.
So there'll be more of these coming up, and we're going to be different topics. We'll look for our audience, our friends who chime in and offer some topics. And don't be offended if we don't pick them. If they don't serve enough of an audience, we're not going to do that. But it's not personal, or maybe it's not my wheelhouse.
It's just brand.
Absolutely.
It's not personal. It's brand.
That's right.
It's branding. Yes. And remember, we're going to do this on a regular basis. We are aiming to do it every single Wednesday at noon Eastern time. I got that question asked from a fellow friend in Canada, like, oh, is it going to be in Canada? What time? Well, yes, at noon Eastern time. And whatever the time is in Pacific time, I don't know yet. But yes, yes, guys, we're going to try to do this every single Wednesday at noon. And remember, not a monologue. This is a dialogue. Let us know any topics. Feel free. I'm a very open book for that matter. If you want to DM me with some message or some encouragement, even with some hate, why not? Hey, I'm here. I probably won't answer because I like to surround myself with positive vibes only. But yes, feel free to reach us out if you guys want anything business or brand. We're your people.
There you go. Well, listen, thank you again, Joanna. Get back to work and we'll talk soon.
Okay.